Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game between LiquidSheth and RAGEYeldy. Yeldy is the blue Protoss player in the bottom left and Sheth is the red Zerg in the top right. Now, some of you who've watched my cast before may notice my voice is a little bit hoarse and generally quite sore, so this is an attempt to get at least one game cast today. I've actually got a throat infection, so I'm going to struggle through it and try and make this work, because I really like casting the Razer replay packs of the week, which this game is obviously from. It's the Sheth one, and this should be a really good game, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, you will see that it looks like there's going to be a fast expand, probably a Forge fast expand out of Yeldy. It will be interesting to see if he goes for the Nexus first or the Forge first, depends on how brave he's feeling. We'll probably see out of Sheth a pull first build, just because obviously if the Protoss player does go for a Forge fast expand, which is very easy on this map, then obviously you can get cannoned at your natural, and you need the Zerglings out quickly in order to deal with that and ultimately get your expansion down. So anyway, this game should be really good. For those of you who haven't watched my channel before, I mean, I do a lot of casts. I love to give feedback, so leave comments, give me a thumbs up if you do enjoy the game, and I mean ultimately just have a look around. I cast a good amount of the MSI Pro Cup number 8 last week, so go and give that a look, because there were some really good games there, especially if you like TVT games, because well, there was lots of them. Anyway, we will see Yeldy is literally just getting a lot of probes out and not much else. Sheth has gone for that pull on 15, I believe it was, so I mean obviously just getting that pull first is a much safer move to make, and it does actually look like Yeldy's going to go for the Nexus first build here, and I actually really like that. I think on this map you can afford to get away with it, because it is actually quite a large map for a two-player map, and we will actually see here's Sheth. Now what he did there was he brought this drone around the back just to see if there's any cannons, any pylons, any probes, because obviously if there were, he would have had to have delayed this base. Now, because this Nexus came down first, the most important thing Sheth needs to do is either try and put on some pressure, which he won't be able to really, because he hasn't got any Zerglings out as of yet, I don't believe. No, so no Zerglings out yet for Sheth. So, because he's not going to be putting on that early pressure, he needs to take this third base very quickly, because otherwise you'll be on an equal basis with the Protoss player, and they'll be able to basically hold off pretty much anything you do. And I mean, what is always key to note about this third base is the timing of it. You will see that the reason Sheth is trying to skip as many Zerglings as possible is purely because he needs to get this base down ASAP. It will be coming down anywhere from about now in the next 20 seconds, and that's the kind of ideal windows, between 4 minutes and 4 minutes 20, depending on how quickly you want to do it. And if you look, we will actually see here that Sheth is moving down, and he's just using these Zerglings to scout around, just make sure he's not getting his third cannoned either. Obviously Sheth is now building this, and it's a little bit late, but that's just because this third base is quite a long way away, only about 10 seconds later than ideal, so really that was only delayed because Sheth was being safe by using these Zerglings to have a good look around. We will see down here at Yeldy's base, he's just getting a nice little wall off here. He's getting that Zealot out, and that Zealot should be out in time to complete this wall off and prevent those Zerglings getting in. Obviously there's a cannon here as well, and if we take a look here, he has taken both of his gas, hasn't taken the third or fourth gas. Those Zerglings will be forced back. No upgrades coming out from this forge as of yet, but they probably will be coming out quite soon. Meanwhile, Sheth is just building drones, which is exactly what he needs to be doing. There is this kind of common misconception with Zerg players. They see this forge fast expand and get worried, but to be honest, before sort of the 8-minute mark, there is nothing that the Protoss player can do at all to threaten you. So that's why this third base is completely fine, because as long as you keep a good lookout for cannons, there's not much they can do for quite a long time, and it means that you can get up a load of drones and get that fantastic income. Obviously it's always good to be scouting them with these overlords, but be careful not to lose them unless you absolutely have to. Now, this overlord just moving back as well, but could get picked off if this Stalker does decide to move forward. Although, having said that, it does look like the Stalker and Zealot will just move up and try and basically do a little bit of harassment. And it's not a big force, it's just enough to be irritating, force some Zerglings out of Sheth. Meanwhile, we see Yeldy is going for this robotics facility, so that's a 1-1 robo expansion going out, and that's very good. This sentry here will be able to hold this wall off for a long time, and this one stalker can actually be quite irritating, because speed isn't done yet for Sheth. I mean, he hasn't had that gas up for too long, and I mean, obviously, you need speed to be able to deal with a stalker effectively, or a lot of Zerglings. Either way, not too great. And we will see the lair coming out very, very quickly for Sheth. He's also getting this Evolution Chamber and Rotron. This is a very common timing. If you get both of those together, it means that you can deal with Stargate play, or sort of a lot of heavy kind of gateway pressure that could come in at this point. And basically, it's a good timing. When you get your Rotron, get your Evo Chamber. Anyway, we will see here +1 on its way out now for Yeldy, actually about to finish up. We will see +1 melee attack on the way there for Sheth. This pylon is down, but will get taken out by all of those Zerglings. That probe is just trying to move backwards, possibly to just go and place another one. But obviously good work by Sheth, just being very, very thorough with his scouting around, making sure that there aren't any positions for a forward warp in which could cause him problems. And if you take a look down here, we will actually see that a lot of gateways are on the way down, 4 more. That Overlord did scout all of them, so it's going to be a 5 gate with a robo build. Obviously the Immortal coming out is very, very effective. This Observer already out on the field getting essential scouting information. Sheth getting his 3rd and 4th gas, no 5th and 6th yet. Obviously Yeldy has got both of his gas there as well. And obviously these gateways are finishing up, and I mean, this can be a good point to put on quite a bit of pressure. But what's this down here? Great use of this little run through of the map, and Sheth is just really scouting out, trying to find this probe, and he's actually going to miss it. So that is a bit of a shame there for Sheth. These stalkers, this Stalker, Zealot and Sentries are on their way back just to defend the wall off. Another big warp in, a very, very sentry heavy build. And again, that's really, really nice, because obviously the more sentries, the more force fields you can get off. Force fields are great at dealing with pretty much all of the early game Zerg units, and it does allow you to basically for free pick off quite a few units, and obviously picking anything off is really, really good. This Hydra Den is brilliant. Obviously against this build, Hydras are absolutely fantastic. The only concerns Sheth has is a quick switch into Colossi, because if Colossi are out, they will completely destroy Hydralisks. But Hydra's very, very strong against Sentries, Stalkers and Immortals, and obviously with the Roaches at the front to soak up some damage can be highly effective. Sheth is getting out his macro hatch, so Sheth is in a great spot. If we take a look at the worker count, it's 62 to 50, so not as high as really I would imagine Sheth would like to be, but he is picking off some of these pylons. He's doing an absolutely great job of denying these forward pylons, and we will here see Yeldy just going up, and he could get some force fields off, and there we go. This is exactly what I mean. These force fields are very, very good for just getting some free units, and trapping a couple of roaches in here, it may not seem like much, but obviously that's being taken out for pretty much free. I mean, Yeldy has hardly lost anything at this point, and it's also allowing him to get up this 3rd base, which is absolutely essential. All of the mid and late game of StarCraft is about expansion management, getting your own and denying your opponents. And really, Yeldy has got quite a scary army here. In all seriousness, this is quite a scary ball. There's 3 Immortals which will very, very easily deal with Roaches. Obviously, he's going to be getting Colossus out soon as well. But Sheth going to try and get a Ling run by, but obviously those Zerglings will get cleaned up very, very quickly. Won't even be able to take out anything. Sheth taking his 4th base here as well. But look at all of this for Sheth. An awful lot of Hydras and an awful lot of Roaches. I don't actually think Roach speed is... No, Roach speed is done. I didn't even notice that go down. God, that was bad of me. Infestation Pit on his way down for Sheth here as well now, and I mean obviously he's getting the range upgrade for those Hydras, he's getting the 1-1 upgrade for those ranged units. Meanwhile though, the first Colossus is on its way, and so is Extended Thermal Lance. Now, I mean once that Colossus comes out, this push from Sheth will be a lot weaker, so he really needs to go before it comes out, and that is exactly what it looks like he's doing. But a lot of sentries there could force field this all off, so Sheth, he's just got to be very, very careful. We've also got a pylon up in this top position. Oh no, it's a Warp Prism, sorry, up in the top position there for Yeldy. So he could do a very, very nice counter-attack while Sheth's units are still out of position. And there comes out the Colossi. Not quite in range in order to deal with that. Those rocks are going to be going down very, very quickly. And here we go, some great force fields. And that is absolutely perfect force fields there by Yeldy, just allowing him to pick off quite a few Roaches for pretty much free. And it is going to force Sheth back, because obviously if you take a look at this loss tab, I mean Sheth's over double the amount of resources lost compared to Yeldy. Yeldy is just getting out a couple more gateways to finish off this wall off, and Extended Thermal Lance is going to be finished pretty damn soon. This Wall Prism not doing anything yet, and I mean that was a bit of a shame, because there was a good opportunity there for Yeldy to do quite a lot of damage if he had gone for it while Sheth's army was attacking, but obviously because he stayed with all of his attention down defending, it just means that Sheth's army has moved back and these zealots aren't going to be able to do very much at all, if anything. So, a bit of a shame there, but we will see here Yeldy moving forward. And this could be a nice little two-pronged attack, and it has actually pulled Sheth out, but Sheth has now seen these zealots coming down and is really going to have to make a decision on how to deal with this, because it's a kind of a couple of units here which are going to pick off quite a few drones if he's not careful. But there we go, we will see that Sheth coming back with the majority of his army to deal with this, but obviously this leaves this massive force here quite open to move forward, but Yeldy just deciding against it. And already Sheth has finished his hive, getting his greater spire on its way out. I don't actually know where that is. There we go, so the greater spire is on the way down there. Now for Sheth, blink on the way for Yeldy as well. Some corruptors coming out now. That corruptor count needs to get up because obviously the Colossus count is getting up higher, and the transition to Broodlords should be really strong. Upgrade rise, it's 1-1 there for Yeldy with +2 ground weapons on the way to the 1-1 of Sheth with 2-2 for melee on the way as well. That speed upgrade for Overlords is going to be finishing up pretty damn quickly, and it does look like Yeldy's getting ready to take his own 4th base, and Sheth really can't allow that to go down because otherwise he will start getting into some problems. I mean, at the moment Sheth is in quite a good spot, but he needs to maintain that income in order to produce the Broodlords rather, and to deal with anything in the late game that Yeldy could throw at him. Meanwhile, Yeldy, he is just getting that blink finished up, he's getting that +2 finished up, and Sheth's greater spire has literally just finished. He's also getting a lot of spine crawlers out, and this is something a lot of mid-level Zerg players get wrong. They have sort of everything else of this build that infest the Broodlord army, but it's not Infesta Broodlord, it's Infesta Broodlord Spine. The spine crawlers are essential for the defense, and you can't really move out with a slow immobile army unless you've got a lot of static defense. And it's also a good way to basically get your minerals down, because as a Zerg player going Infesta Broodlord, you just have so much stuff that so much minerals that you can't actually get rid of them without spines. And now this is good work by Yeldy. He's going to be able to pick off this 5th base attempt by Sheth, and we will see here that Sheth just coming down to this position. I'm not quite sure why, because he could get himself caught in the middle of nowhere, and these Stalkers are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Obviously the Immortals there as well, huge damage being done to the Roaches. Some Colossus are there as well, great use of low ground micro. One Colossus nearly gets picked off but does manage to stay up. A fantastic forward blink there, and all of that is going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, this is just getting cleaned up here. It's only a couple of Zealots, and I mean, that was pretty good work by Yeldy there. Picked off quite a few more units, and this is really saying everything. That the units lost for resources lost for Yeldy is a lot lower, under half of that of Sheth. So if Yeldy keeps this up, it'll do great, and the food count as well is absolutely massive. The difference there, Yeldy nearly at 200, obviously Sheth at about 160. If Yeldy was to go for this now, it would be in a great spot. He's getting Sonic Storm as well, getting that +3 attack, getting some Archons out, and I mean, Yeldy's got everything he needs to deal with this. 3-3 on the way now for Sheth as well as those adrenal glands. He's got a double spire up clearly somewhere, so he is getting that flyer attack and flyer carapace for his Broodlords and Corruptors. And meanwhile, we will just see that Yeldy is just not trying to be too aggressive. He has got that 4th base up, he's cannoning it up excessively, and yet again Yeldy just moving in with a few Zealots just to go and deny this 5th base, and that is exactly what he needs to be doing, because it's just forcing Sheth to try and deal with it. And actually Yeldy's just forced to cancel down there again, so absolutely great work there by, well, Yeldy's doing fantastic. And obviously those extended thermal lance Colossus will pick off the spines. Those Broodlords could do a lot of damage though. A big fungal growth will make a lot of difference. There we go, a huge fungal growth going off there. And I mean, what else is going to be going on? Those Colossus are pulling back. A big Sonic Storm on the way down there, picking off a couple of units, just getting everything down. And so many Colossus have pulled back. This is a bit of a strange move here by Yeldy, just moving back with so much of his force, but leaving so much forward as well. And it does look like Yeldy is just planning on getting out of there, and I can't blame him. Moving forward, those Stalkers though, and all of those Stalkers are just going to completely die. I don't know why Yeldy did that. That must have been a misclick there. He wasn't going to be able to pick anything off, and as a result, he could, well, frankly, lose his entire army. And he's trying to desperately run back. A massive fungal growth basically pins back those two Colossi, and Neural Parasite is actually researched, so obviously we could see Sheth use that at some point here. Now, the only trouble Sheth has, he may be at 200 or 200, but he is stuck on those four bases. The 5th base will peek again, pick it off, and a lot of damage being done here. A fleet beacon on the way for Yeldy as well, so we're probably going to see a mothership out shortly. And those Stalkers just don't have the firepower to deal with that many Broodlords. The Hydra's absolutely demolishing the Stalkers. This is actually a really nice unit composition, but obviously you don't want those Hydras taking fire from the Colossi. The Colossi are +3 weapon attack, so are absolutely demolishing those Hydralists. But just sheer numbers are going in Sheth's favour. He's pushing straight forward. The Broodlords are just slowly moving in, and as are the Hydralists and Zerglings. The Zerglings picking off an awful lot of units here, and just look at this red just comes streaming in. This 4th base of Yeldy is under siege from Zerglings. So many Broodlords around now. The Broodlords are just slowly basically laying siege to the natural base. This 3rd base of Yeldy is pretty much going down. There's not much you can do to save that at the moment. Obviously the Colossus micro from the high ground, very effective, just trying to pick off some more stuff, and it does look like Yeldy's trying to go in with a couple of Zealots to deal with that. But I mean, this is not a good spot for Yeldy, and Sheth really isn't taking any damage here at all. There are these 2 Zealots coming in, but fungal growths and 2 Broodlords on the way, and Sheth pulling back his entire army here. And to be honest, I don't think he needs to. He could have just kept bringing the pain there, because there just isn't enough for Yeldy to deal with that. And if he just remaxed up on some kind of cheaper units, he could have just won it there and then, in my opinion. But Sheth is looking like he's going to be able to get this 5th base out. He's obviously a max upgrades for his melee units. He's got 2 upgrades for his air units on the way. And the mothership is actually nearly going to be done for Yeldy as well. So obviously once that mothership comes out, that's going to cause Sheth quite a few problems if a good vortex does manage to go down. And especially the Archons there. We could see an Archon toilet, which everyone loves. And here we go, the mothership is now out. Obviously no upgrades for the mothership. 3-1 upgrades for Yeldy's ground units compared to 3-3 melee upgrades for Sheth, and 2 air upgrades on the way, and +1 range attack. Now we will see that Sheth nearly completely maxed out again, and he will be very shortly actually. And he's also bringing some queens with this army, and that is very good play. You want to have queens with this late game army because the transfuses on the Broodlords are absolutely essential. And we will see here that the Zealots yet again looking like they could be in position to deny this 5th base, but Sheth just going in with quite a few Zealots, quite a few Zerglings rather, and will clean that up exceptionally quickly. So that means that Sheth obviously now has got up that 5th base, which is really the only thing that was holding him back. And meanwhile Yeldy, well, he's mined out at his natural, his main base is getting very low, so essentially he's just on this one mining base for all intensive purposes. And obviously this is a huge Broodlord army coming in. This is going to be kind of one final engagement, and it all goes down to how good the vortex is, and what will that vortex be able to do. Some big storms go off, and there is a very big vortex, a lot of Broodlords being picked off there, but there is some detection in play here for Sheth to see those units, and a great fungal growth. The Archons are going into that vortex there. I don't actually think there's enough though to go to deal with all of this. And here we go, straight away, there we go, massive storm goes off, but great transfuses as well. A couple of Broodlords do go down, and I mean this is getting pretty damn close. I do believe it's going in favour of Sheth though, and obviously Sheth has got the supply advantage. Chain fungal growthing all of Yeldy's units, and I mean Sheth has pretty much cleaned this up very nicely. Obviously though, that mothership is still there, quite a few Colossus are in as well. Just taking a look down here at what is moving in the map position, and wow, Sheth just had a absolutely great engagement, but is pulling back. But look at all these Zerglings, just absolutely demolishing everything in this base. None in the main base as of yet, but obviously quite a few gateways. Cybernetics core went down as well, so obviously with no cybernetics core there is no way of any more Stalkers coming out, which means this Broodlord army is suddenly going to be exceptionally scary. And Sheth hasn't actually used this 5th base yet at all. This, well, which was the 4th base, essential for Yeldy there, and this base down here pretty damn essential as well. But I don't really see how Yeldy can come back from this. I mean, Sheth is 100 supply ahead, and actually Yeldy's just decided, nope, I can't get back from that either, and GG's out. So I hope you did enjoy that game. I'm now going to drink some hot lemon and honey just to try and soothe my throat, but I hope you did enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and please tune in again. I'm going to cast some more LiquidSheth games throughout the week. Thank you very much for watching.